The exhibit is called Eva Perón, una metáfora contemporánea, which translates to Eva Perón, a contemporary metaphor. It's by contemporary Argentine artist Nicola Constantino, who I will talk about in a little bit. So a little history of Argentina at the Biennale. They actually are one of the first countries represented at the Biennale. They first appeared in 1901. And they're actually the very first Latin American country to ever be represented at the Biennale Festival. They have had many great Argentine artists throughout their history, including the probably most famous Argentine modernist artist, Antonio Berni, who was a representative for multiple years in the early 1900s. So Constantino is from Rosario, which is a city just north of the Capital Federal, Buenos Aires. She was born in 1946, and she works in a really
She's that old?
Yeah. 1964.
Okay,
I was sorry.
There's a big difference there. I'm like, she's had some good work done.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. 1964, 46 is when Perón took power. Anyway, so 64 is when Constantino was born in Rosario, and she works in a wide range of media from photography to ceramics to like multimedia exhibitions, which we're going to see.
I think this is the exit, so if I remember correctly, we won't go into the exit, but we'll go around. Just remind me.
That's fine. So some of her most famous works have been photographs that mimic famous paintings. So she did a picture of herself in a portrait by Berni, or herself in Las Meninas by Velázquez, and other stuff like that. And she also is known for her nipple shoes and nipple purses that she makes out of silica. So the exhibit that we're about to see is about Eva Perón, and in Constantino's words, she says, it consists of 4 installations portraying Eva Perón that use for the first time the language of contemporary art. They use 2 video installations, a moving machine object, and a more abstract sculpture to try and convey a different image about Eva, appealing to our emotional side. So the exhibit itself is really cool. She uses 6 different projectors from 3 cameras to portray Eva at her home during 6 periods of her life, performing different tasks. So she's doing a lot of ordinary things. So it's an honor to Eva Perón to have her be the center of the exhibit, but it's also trying to take her off her pedestal, which I thought was really interesting. And I'll talk about Eva in just a few seconds. Because, Constantino's trying to reinterpret the image that Argentina and the rest of the world has of Evita, as she was known. So, a little bit about Evita. She was born in 1919 in Los Toldos, Buenos Aires, which is the province outside of the city. She was an actress in Buenos Aires, which was very much up for interpretation depending on who you are in Argentina. So most Argentines look at her, if you're in the upper class, as a prostitute. If you were in the lower class, she was an aspiring actress. She was married to Juan Perón, who was president of Argentina in 1946. He was elected president democratically. Most people think he was a dictator, but he wasn't. He was, however, known for his populist tendencies, and he was known as a caudillo, which in Argentina is their word for a leader who is very populist, comes from the interior of the country. It has a very unique way of ruling, similar to a dictator, but not quite. Perón also transformed the Argentine government into basically what it is today. Just about every president up to today, or including today, President Kirchner, is part of the Peronist party. So he created essentially a new identity for the country. And so Eva actually had a lot of power. She never had any official positions. She was never president, vice president, anything like that, but she helped get a lot of women's rights and a lot of rights for the working class, which hadn't really been explored before because Argentina was basically ruled by the oligarchy, and much at the turn of the 20th century. So they did have a lot of clash, the Peróns, with the upper class. Many people looked at them as, terrible people who were taking away their rights to give rights to other people. They oftentimes, would do very immoral things. There's very famous examples of them going to factories, putting cockroaches all over the factory, and then sending an inspection service the following mornings to shut down people who were at all a threat to their presidency, to Juan's presidency. So while some people have terrible experiences with her, most of the country, most of the world looks at her as this great image who brought so much to the working class and so much to women's rights and youth rights and everything like that. So there really is a huge clash. So Costantino's work definitely explores that clash by both honoring her and, you know, showing her in her ordinary life to kind of bring her level down. Let's go see it.